when you're done editing your movie, the final step is to render it out as a final movie file. And here is one of my own work, a complete sequence of a couple of minutes. And when this one is done, I render it out with File, Export, and Media. And this is actually one of the most tricky parts, because there are so many options of formats, compressions, and so on. When I go to export, I get these export settings. And there are many default settings here. The default settings give okay result, but in order to get very good result, you need to adjust things manually. And one thing that is important to remember is that you have file formats, and then you have compression formats. And file formats are, for example, HVI or QuickTime. Those are file formats. Then you have codecs or compression formats like DV or Sørenson or JPEG 2000, MPEG, and so on. And they are compression formats. So you need to keep them separate. And usually compression formats are connected to different file formats. For example, if I choose a file format here of HVI, then I can choose to render it out as a PAL DV. That is the same compression as in old style mini DV video cameras. If I select QuickTime, then I can choose to render it out as PAL DV, or I can also go to Custom and use the video codec. Down here you have video codec. Here you have lots of different video codecs like JPEG 2000, you have Sørenson video. Those two are quite good, especially this Sørenson video 3. And of course this is a complete jungle, and it changes all the time. New compression format arrives and so on, and new distribution platforms also. So I can just hint on what you want to use, and then you have to experiment yourself or check the tutorials that I have published, or check someone else's tutorial. But it is a very good idea either to stick to someone else's settings that you can find, or to experiment yourself. And if you want to experiment, you can render out short versions in different compression formats, just 10 seconds of a movie or so. And then you publish them where you want to publish them, and then you check the result. But when I publish stuff, almost always I publish online. And when I publish online, I either use QuickTime, and then I use often Sørenson video 3. Then I can adjust the quality here. And of course, if I have low quality, the image will not look very good, but it will be the file sizes will be small. You need to check the size of the image here, and also here on the output you need to check that the size is correct and you don't have black areas at the sides and so on. You can crop the image. If I click on this one, I can crop the image like this in order to avoid the black areas. So this is the output image, and I don't have any black lines on the sides. If I don't crop it, I have these thin black lines here. So that was why I wanted to crop this image. Then we have audio compression also. You can bring down the sample rate, you can skip the stereo and so on, and you can compress in different codecs. But of course, every time you compress or all the settings that you do here, if you lower the quality, then you can actually hear or see that it's lower quality. So be careful with bringing the settings down. For example, the quality on the Sørensen video tree, I think it's better to have it quite high here. If you want to publish on YouTube, there is, if you use H264 under presets, you have actually some YouTube presets here, like YouTube standard definition. That is the one that I usually use. And then I have to select PAL here. And actually YouTube have a specific frame size that you need to keep yourself to. So you need to change this frame size here. But check their specification for that one. Another alternative that is very popular nowadays is to use the flash video, FLV. And here you can use either FLV or F4V. And each of those have different settings down here. So you can manipulate the quality of the compression. And when you are done with all these settings, the last thing is to decide on where this the new file will be stored. And then you press OK to render it out. And in Adobe, it opens up the media encoder, and in this media encoder you can put up several exports that you can do in a sequence. So you make a batch of it, a queue. And then when you have the different exports that you want to do here, then you click on Start Queue. And the export usually takes quite a long time. It can easily take half an hour or so if it's a long movie with lots of effects. But as I said, don't forget to experiment with different settings and look at the result.